What is up? This is your LA in a minute, and perched on these wires above me is a flock of pigeons. Did you know that at one point pigeons were actually a tourist attraction in Los Angeles? That's right. In 1914, Los Angeles had the world's largest flock of pigeons. And by the way, these birds are native to Los Angeles. Let's get into the history. So first, kudos to the band-tailed pigeon because it's a native species actually from California. Its native land, in fact, spans from British Columbia down through Chiapas in Mexico. But back to LA, which at the turn of the 20th century was still primarily agricultural. The Transcontinental Railroad had just been completed, bringing Civil War veterans and migrants from the center of the country who brought their customs, including eating squirrels and birds. Now, it's also important to note that squab meat was considered a luxury food item in the U.S. at the turn of the 20th century, and it was served at fine restaurants throughout the country. Around that same time, pigeon farming became an important industry in Los Angeles. In 1895, the LA Times included in their Woman and Home section a lengthy article encouraging enterprising young women to raise pigeons, citing the region's warm and welcoming climate. Enter James Jorgensen Johnson, a migrant from Utah who worked as a poultry, wood, coal, and grain dealer and operated the LA poultry yards on Rio Street, east of the LA River in Boyle Heights, between 6th and 7th Streets. In 1898, he established a pigeon farm with the dual purposes of food production and guano distribution. It was wildly successful as he sold nearly 4,000 pigeons each month, fetching 25 cents per head. Big money at the time. At its peak, the ranch was home to more than 100,000 birds. Now, Johnson was running a business, but the spectacle of over 100,000 pigeons bobbing on the ground or huddling on the rooftops was irresistible. Visitors came to the banks or peered down from Elysian Park just to see the pigeons. They literally produced picture postcards for the benefit of friends and relatives back home. Ironically, the region's climate proved to be the ranch's downfall. In February of 1914, a particularly violent Pacific storm decimated the pigeon ranch. The ranch was located right on the floodplain, just above the riverbed, and the pigeon coops were doomed. The swollen LA River tore through the ranch and carried the coop houses toward the ocean. Now, pigeons, of course, are birds, so many were able to fly and escape, but the ranch was never the same, and neither was LA's relationship with pigeons. So next time you see these pigeons, don't get annoyed. Give them a wink and a nod of appreciation because they are the descendants of one of the biggest tourist attractions in LA at the beginning of the 20th century. All right, LA, it's been a minute.